Welcome to the Football Exponential Show. I'm Chika and I'm joined by Frank.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of the show. How are you doing, Chica?
I'm fine. How are you?
It's all blessed. Yeah, it's all blessed. We're doing quite well. Thank you very much.
Okay, so are you ready
So,
to go?
yeah, I think we have some interesting topics that's been going about the last couple of days that we have to touch on. So let's go in.
Okay, so the first one we're talking about today is Gundogan. With Barcelona having released him or allowing him to go for free, he's been linked to Manchester City and it's been said that he might go, they might sign him or he might rejoin them, having left City last season. So now, for more context, he played only one season in Barcelona and he didn't really do badly. So, but the problem right now, the reason why he's leaving Manchester or he's leaving Barcelona is because right now, Barcelona cannot register some of the players they signed with Danny Olmo, who they signed from Leipzig for like I think 60 million
Oh,
or
60,
60
yeah,
million
60,
euro.
yeah.
So they can't register him because of some financial regulations in over there in Spain. So they have to release some players to bring down the wage bill, and then Gundogan is the casualty. So, Frank, how do you see the signing both for Gundogan for Manchester City and then for Barcelona?
I think I'll start with easy option. I think from the Gundogan perspective, I think for him it's a good transfer. You've gone from Man City, you've gone on loan to Barcelona for a year. You've had a
Mm.
fantastic season. Then you're going back to Man City, where he left the club with the blessings of the club and the fans. I think he's well loved and respected among the fan base and his players. I think Guardiola respect. I think he was one of Guardiola's first signings at Man City as well. I think Guardiola respects him a lot. He appreciates what he brings to the team and such. But I think for Barcelona, I think this is a catastrophic transfer for them, or it's a catastrophic situation for them where they have to sell not just Gundogan, but the player if you look at the statistics, he played most games for Barcelona last season than anyone else, most minutes for Barcelona than anyone else last season. He contributed a few goals and assists. He was instrumental to their not so good season for other reasons other than his presence, but I think he contributed a lot to what Barcelona tried and what Barcelona tried to achieve last season, and it then puts you in a position where you have to replace him, and that's another proposition. But it's a situation where you have to make this kind of deals just to be on the right side of the financial regulations in Spain, where you have to register your new signing Daniel Mo, but because of bad money management in the past and whatnot, you're still and lack of significant income in terms of outgoing transfers this year. You find yourself in this situation where you have to sell a player like Arroyo Christensen, or ultimately if there's a situation where you can let go of a player of Gundogan's caliber for free, and you take his wages, massive wages as well, off the wage book. I think it's a deal they had to ultimately make. It's not one they would like, and I don't think the fans at Barcelona will like the deal, or I don't think the head coach probably would like it. But I think in terms of financials, it's just a deal Barcelona have to make because I think financially they're in peril. So it's a tough one for them. And for Man City, I think it's a very smart business. I don't see any downside to it. It's going to come in. I think it's reportedly going to be on a yearly contract. So I think they probably will.
Oh, it's going to be a yearly contract.
Well, it's reported that it's going to
Yeah,
come
yeah.
and sign. So I
Which
don't know
was
if they.
which would be worse so what they gave him. You know, he rejected a contract they gave him the
Yeah,
other time.
exactly. So I
Actually,
think he's going back, and I think it's situation where I think Man City they needed a bit of not really depth, but I think with players like Matheus Matheus Nunes not being of the standard over the Man City, you need more bodies in attacking midfield and central midfield positions. I think he's gonna go there as because I think the role has changed from 2 years ago where he was I think he was captain of Man City when he starts most games, but now he's gonna go there as one of the not started 11, but one of the 16th, 17th, or 18th man on the squad where he's on the bench most times. He's going to come and fill in as a rotation piece, filling for players when players are injured or suspended, that kind of thing. He brings a lot of he fits in a lot of positions on the pitch tactically. I don't know if he's gonna deputize for Rodri sometimes this season, but he can cover the 6, 8, and 10 positions for Man City. He brings a lot of leadership to the team as well. I think it's ultimately a fantastic deal for Man City. It's you won't find better deals than this in this
Okay,
current day and age.
do you think his signing guarantees them or makes them guarantees them league success? It makes
Um,
them
um,
favorites.
I, I think between me and you, we've talked long and hard about how we felt Man City were gonna dominate this league this season. But I think this is a sign that's just gonna assure their coronation to another Premier League title. It's where they show up the numbers, the experience, the leadership, and it's going to bring some goals to the team, especially if they're not bringing another striker to replace recently departed Alvarez. So I think he brings a lot to the table. We also have an opinion about this, which is it's not a hot take, but I think it's a semi hot take. I think this transfer signifies the end of Guardiola's time at Man City.
Why do you think so?
I think in I'm just
It's
thinking
like
mega mind
the
here.
hypothesis. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Because
a hypothesis. So I think
yeah,
it's a transfer where the club knows okay something is coming down the line. Say there's a massive shake up coming down the line. The coach leaves. We don't want to commit big financials to another midfield player like say the likes of Nunes, for example, where you go into the market, you buy another player for big money, big wages, you bring him to the team, and ultimately Guardiola then leaves at the end of the season, you find yourself in a situation where you don't know what to do with that player. So a situation where you bring him for a year, he has another fantastic year with Guardiola, then Man City they kind of have the last dance with Guardiola where they try and dominate European football. I think end of the season Guardiola leaves, Man City find themselves if Gundogan stays, if he doesn't stay, still it's a very sweet spot for Man City. But I think this transfer is the one that rings alarm bells in my head. I say, okay, you know what? This is it. This might be a big indication of Pep Guardiola actually leaving at the end of the season. But then again, it could just be me hoping it happens. But I think this signifies the end of
as a
Guardiola.
Chelsea fan, that's your prayer.
No, it's even as a Chelsea fan, it's not even a prayer. I think it's more. I think for English football, we need this
Yeah,
juggernauts
yeah, yeah, yeah.
to leave. Well, because we just can't beat this guy. We just can't beat him.
But he improves the league. If he leaves, it's a big
Yeah, I know it
the
improves the
marketing, the
league. But
differential, the okay. So for me, this is how I see it. For me, when I heard the news, it didn't make sense to me. I was criticizing Barcelona. I was like, here they go again. Always cutting players like they didn't plan for it. Like I'm asking myself, who's the financial director of the club? What does he do every morning? What like it doesn't make
Deco,
sense. But having had a rethink, I think it makes sense for them. This is why. Last season, he played 36 games,
yeah,
5 goals, 9 assists, which was very, very good.
that's fair. That's
Last two
fantastic.
seasons for City, he played 31 games, 8 goals, 4 assists. This is very, very good. Now he can play in the center of the field. He can play as an attacker. He started as a defensive midfielder in Borussia Dortmund. I can remember that, and he
Yeah,
did
yeah,
very,
yeah.
very well. Now, this is his attributes. Now, Barcelona are going to lose one of the big leaders. He's a very big leader. He's like a mentor to so many of the young kids. Like, I don't know. It's going to be difficult to measure what they are missing. And also, I tell people where I find him very, very intricate, very, very vital to sit to Barca is that the coach Flick is a German. He's German also.
Yeah, yeah,
So you would
exactly.
need
They
him to
need
transmit the idea. You can always be anybody can wear the armband. The Chelsea football players have always said that the closest guy to Jose Mourinho was Frank Lampard. He wasn't John Terry. John Terry had the armband, but Lampard was his favorite son. So I see him as that person that can always go to the coach to get the information, disseminate to the rest of the squad, and tell the rest of the squad what the manager wants. So Drake is the one that has lost a loyal personality. That's two. That he has a lot in the midfield. But also, when you check it also statistically, last season he has 0.32 expected assists. He belongs to the 99 percentile. That's high. Then the second one again, 0.16 non-penalty expected goals. It belongs to the 90 percentile also. That's very, very high. Then 1.08 successful take-ons. That all these stats are every 90 minutes. 1.08 successful take-ons. It belongs to the 81 percentile. That is
Yeah,
also high.
yeah, yeah. I'm looking at
2.01
it.
progressing carries. Also, it belongs to the 81 percentiles. These are what he brings
Yeah,
to the table. He can carry the ball, he can take you on, he can pass. Now, that is for Barcelona. But why do I, despite saying all this, why do I classify it as not a good deal? But Barcelona had to do what they had to do. He is 33 years old. It's not like he's 31 or he's 30. He's 33. And he's on a 2-year deal. So if they don't release him this season, he goes free next season, and then they will not be able to sign Danny Olmo and the rest of the players. Yes, you
it,
can say, why did they sign him at the first place? They signed him at the first place because they didn't know Olmo will have a fantastic season at the Euros. So right now they don't have a choice. If I'm the executive, I'm going to cut him. I'm sorry, but this is where I have a problem with Barca. This is where I blame them not in releasing him. Barca has been buying players. They signed the Conde, they signed Christensen, they had De Jong, they have Rafinha, they have why does Barca have problem releasing players?
no,
I
no,
think they put
and,
them on high wage. They never
no,
release this guy because you have to take out these guys to
no,
free
no,
up
but
money for the rest of the squad.
no, but like, cause like we both know, one of our guests on this show, Kingsley, is a Barcelona supporter. I've always had this discussion with him. I think Barcelona would be in a better place if they say for a year or two, freeze all transfer activities, focus on La Masia. If it means you're not competitive in Serie for in La Liga, sorry, let that be the case. But you develop these players coming from La Masia, you save or you correct your financial wrongdoings, and you take short term pain for long term success. But they still find themselves in this situation where they just I think they have to flex. They have to like they
They're always
see
looking at Madrid, and that's the problem.
exactly
Always, man.
exactly.
Don't
They always
forget
they
about
look
Madrid. Your
look
foundation has to be good before you think
they,
of
they,
Madrid.
they always look at Madrid and flexible. I think, but what people always tend to forget, like what Madrid have done in recent years, is how they've changed out the squad from the likes of Casemiro, Rafa Varane, Sergio Ramos, the big man himself, Cristiano Ronaldo, Gareth Bale, Benzema. How these players have all been successful there, but they've one by one they've ultimately moved them on and in
Yeah.
different forms, either it's on free transfers or big transfers for like the likes of Varane, Casemiro, and Ronaldo ultimately. But Barcelona, they want to keep all these players at the same time and not that bringing more big players on big wages because let's not forget it's on
Dembele had to take himself out before they finally sold him.
exactly.
I don't know why they keep them.
It's so
They
it's
always
so
players.
he's reportedly last his wages alone were worth over 20 million euros last season alone. For that, that's a significant amount of money for a club like Barcelona that are going through their financial issues. And I think they'll keep finding themselves in this position where if it's not good, it's going to go this year, next year it's going to be Arroyo.
And
Then
they'll find it.
then
And also, and
ultimately
also, also, they had Pedro, right? They had Pedro. They
yeah.
had the second guy again. They were
Pedri,
two.
there's Pedri, there's Gavi, there's Femi Lopez. Pedri
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Femi
yeah,
Lopez, they
yeah.
have that
Why?
injury problems, but
But
I think
these guys busted up to the scene like 3 years ago during the Euros. I've not heard anything about them over the years. 3 years is enough. Sell one of them. Arroyo is in decline right now. Not in decline, but his growth. He's not growing the way he started. The Arroyo, the
yeah,
right back on the Uruguayan Arroyo. I don't know his first name. The
no,
Uruguayan.
yeah, Uruguay, yeah,
Yeah. He
yeah.
burst onto the scene. He was so good. I rated him very, very well. I liked his
I,
tenacity, his attitude. But now it's like, so what I'm saying is after some time you sell them. You just let them go. They keep
no,
these
but it's hard.
players and
I know, but and I think it's something we'll talk about when we talk about our next topic. I think right now the landscape in football it's not necessarily like the transfer fees are not the big are not they're okay, but I think the big issues in terms of transfers and moving players on and getting players in is the wage package. Because for some players it's a sizable amount of money to commit to a player that you can't tell how good they're gonna come and play for you, how good they're gonna perform for the team, injuries and other things, other factors. There's a lot of moving parts and most clubs now I think you see with Chelsea where I think they're trying to move to this. safety blanket of where you have players, but their wages are fairly not as high as they used to be. And so where you have likes of they have another problem with another midfielder, the Dutch midfielder, where they've tried to move him on for at least 2 years now, but he refuses to go. He doesn't want to sign a new contract. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He doesn't want to take a pay cut and leave the club because he's on serious money in Barcelona. So you're stuck where
So,
you
so
can't.
the deal hasn't expired till today.
It's not expired. And I think Barcelona
How many
Barcelona
years
should
is
be.
that?
I'm not quite sure. But I think Barcelona should also. They should. I think they're quite. I think they're quite lucky in this situation with Gundogan where he sort of
He was really,
accepted it. Like
yeah.
he was ready to make the move happen, and I think it was a very swift discussion between himself, his agents,
And
Barcelona, and
they
the Man
keep on
City.
denying. They kept on denying it. The coach kept on saying he's going to stay. It was
I know, no, I
if
know,
you are if you are enjoying this show and you like whatever you're watching us, just help smash the like button and then subscribe. Yeah,
and
thank you.
share
Continue.
if you guys share
Share.
the pages to your friends and whatnot. But I think it's all like if you're clued up to Barcelona's arrangements or their financial or their dealings, you can see there's trouble there. Something is not quite right there. Where they're signing a Brazilian striker from Brazil for big money, but he can't get into the team, and
Yeah, okay. And
subsequently,
then
yes,
the
subsequently he's
sporting
not part.
record or
He's not
something.
part of. He's not part of the long-term plan, or even he's not even part of the short-term plan. And you're
And
kind,
why did they start the cash? Did they start the cash because Madrid also splashed their own cash? Like,
exactly.
why do
So
you always have to
exactly.
do
So
like
is this a situation because Madrid have gone to Barcelona and to Brazil? They bought Henry. Okay, we missed out Henry. Who's the next Brazilian we can get? Oh, Victor Roque. We'll go buy Victor Roque. So I think all these decisions it's to get to a point where at some point someone has to answer. Okay, you know what? We need to stop. We need to close our taps, close our checkbooks. Let's get our house in order. Then we move. And like, and I know people are like, okay, but this is Barcelona. Why are you talking about Barcelona this way? But what about Chelsea? Chelsea have signed 36 players in the last 2 or 3 years. But also, I think the people always forget Chelsea's ability to always sell players. I think it's been a fantastic
we'll get to that.
yeah.
We'll
So I
get
say
to
yeah, we'll
that.
get to Chelsea. But I think, but just to wrap it on Gundogan, I think it's for Man City it's a fantastic deal. For Gundogan himself, it's a fantastic deal. But for
I,
Barcelona, it leaves more. I think it leaves more questions than answers for Barcelona and their football operation over
if
there.
I had to check to realize he's 33. I didn't know because he plays
Yeah,
like he's 29, 30.
yeah. He had
And then
he had
also,
a he had,
on,
he had a fantastic
for
Euros as
City,
well.
if anybody had a doubt that City were going to retain the title, this has made it very, very clear. Let me tell the guests. We have Doku Grealish on the left side or on the right side, depending on how I see it. You have Sevino and Bernardo also on the wing. Also, you have Haaland as a as the center forward. Then in midfield, attacking midfield, you have Foden, you have De Bruyne, you have Oscar Bob. Gundogan signing makes it they won't miss Oscar Bob. So they have four players to choose two in attacking midfield. And also you have Kovacic, Rodri, my favorite Rico Lewis, and then the other guy Nunes, which can play.
Nunes,
Then they
yeah,
have two
yeah,
youngsters, McCarthy and then O'Reilly. So man,
yeah.
people don't because I thought City didn't have a squad till I checked their bench against
No,
Chelsea.
they have no.
City
The only question mark we see is in terms of an actual number nine, a striker that can come in
no,
for
but I feel they'll sign somebody. I feel they sign somebody
you know
for
you
the
know you know what
because
you know what
if Haaland is done, I don't know.
yeah, but you know what I
Foden,
won't be. I think it depends on how long Oscar Bob is going to be out with his current
will he
injury.
play it first nine? Will he play first nine?
No, it's not, but not first time. But if you have a situation where Oscar Bob is available, you can then play. You can play De Bruyne and Foden as your two number nines. It's something he's done in the past where he's even had Gundogan as his number nine. Or so
To play host
so
that I
no,
don't if I'm him I'm going
but
to
they've done
sign
it.
somebody I don't care be it French league for a whole
I
season
know,
I don't know
I know, but
but
but, but also,
I pray he does it.
I know, but I also think like because it's a very niche transfer. They look at a very niche kind of player they're looking for a player that obviously has good quality. He fits into their football model. How do you want to see the game in terms of the player's technical and physical attributes? But ultimately, that player who's coming in, he knows he's sitting behind Helen Haaland. He's he knows he's going to be, as I said, going to be the 13th or 15th man off the bench. So it's very hard. Like there are very good young players you can get for a year or two, but ultimately they might move on. But I think we sit in the might just look at it like, you know what? For now, I think we have enough. Haaland could just play the Premier League games. In Champions League they can manage in Champions League without necessarily needing to burden Erling Haaland with the games over there. You have enough players like McCarthy will come and play in the midfield. They have not necessarily strikers, but they have a lot of goals in that team. Where Foden, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Doku's not scored a lot, but he can always contribute. Grealish can contribute. Savino can contribute. So there's a lot of goals. Gundogan as well. So I think I won't be surprised if they don't actually make another transfer in terms of replacing Julian Alvarez. So I think, yeah, I think
Okay.
I think that's all on Gundogan. Let's move on to the next topic.
Okay. This is the biggest topic or the biggest news in social media in football, European football right now.
Let
Chelsea,
me stretch. Let me
and
stretch.
it started.
Let me stretch. Time to defend Chelsea again. Let me stretch it.
It's, it started gradually, then it spread like wildfire. Now, I'll let the viewers know, or I'll give some context about this. Now, Raheem Sterling was signed for, I think it was 60 million euros
Now it was
from,
about 50,
yeah,
50. Let's say 50.
okay. That
Say
was like
50.
2 years ago from Manchester City, and he joined Chelsea, and
Yeah.
then they were expecting him to be the leader, but the output or the production wasn't what Chelsea desired or anticipated. 2 seasons, and then it didn't work out for Chelsea. So this season, the new manager comes in. Foden reports 2 weeks earlier, according to his agents, which I think is true, to training to be in top form and all those things, keep fitness. And Foden isn't somebody that has a bad record off and on.
Sterling.
Sorry, Sterling. He has had a near perfect record about
Yeah, yeah.
attitude and
He
all those
works. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
he reports early. The coach he plays some of the preseason games, which then all of a sudden the coach announces his lineup and Foden is not there. His agents go to the press. They release the statement shortly before Chelsea's game, which I don't think is right, but I don't hold it against him. If I'm him, if you're
Yeah, yeah.
fighting, so there's nothing. I don't
Yeah,
think it's
exactly.
right, but at the same time, I don't hold it against. I could do that.
Yeah,
So
exactly. I
everybody,
understand. Yeah,
Chelsea
exactly.
are
Yeah, I
selfish,
understand.
so Foden has to be selfish. So I don't see
Sterling.
anything wrong with that. Sorry, Sterling. So I keep saying it's Foden. Sterling. So now they released a statement. They said the first part of the statement said he has a contract. So trying to tell Chelsea that he owes the car to he has
Yeah.
the car to
I'm
the game.
still,
So,
I'm
so
still tied down here. I'm
yeah,
ready to
yeah.
serve.
So
I'm not going anywhere yet.
you guys have to deal with me. Now Chelsea doubles down, and then the coach now comes out to say he's not training with the first team, he's training with the reserves or whatever, with the likes of Lukaku, Moria, Chilwell. Also, Chilwell is involved. Now, to make matters worse, the coach has the club have given. This is where I don't. This is where I've departed from the club, giving out his number while he's still at the club to someone else. You could have waited till the end of the season, but I'll give
No,
you your
but
time. Hold on. I
yeah.
know. Let
Okay,
me
okay.
finish. They've given out his number to Neto. Neto is having his number right now. They also gave out Chaluba's number to somebody else. I don't know who has Chaluba's.
Felix.
So Felix now. So now the coach has been accused of being brutal, of lacking sympathy or empathy, of not being human, and he has doubled down. He said it's not brutal. I don't have 41 players. I have only 21 players to work with. So how do you see it? Who do you think is at fault, or Chelsea has played
Um,
it better? Can it be resolved?
no, but I think with Chelsea as ever, they can always. I think with this new ownership, I think what's been lacking, they've lacked a bit of poise in terms of how they've moved in terms of signings. There's been this appearance of lack of control in a way where they don't really control the narrative, they don't control the story. It's very there's always a lot that leaks into the press in terms of either be from managers, players, agents, or the club makes little leaks here and there. But I think with Chelsea so far, it's been it's in the last 2 years it's been for people like clicks and articles, it's been paradise for them because there's always something coming up from Chelsea.
Mhm.
Regards to transfers, players, there's a lot of noise and it's been too noisy for my liking the last few years. But I think ultimately, I look at it from a coach's point of view. Then I look at it from the club's point of view. I look at it from Sterling's point of view. And I think starting with the coach's point of view, I I like what I've heard from Mariska about this whole situation on Sunday, and he spoke again about it on Wednesday afternoon in the press conference. I like how he's handled it. Some might disagree, but I think I like how he's handled it. He's been very open, direct, and honest about the whole situation. There's no mixed words, or he's not tried to hide behind cliches in terms of talking or saying Sterling is still a player. We count on him, this and that. But I think it's very direct and said it. Sterling's a winger. I like other sort of wingers, and it's. I think as a manager, he reserves that right to make a decision on his words, on players he coaches. Ultimately, that's his job to manage and coach and get the best out of his players. And I think he's probably looked at it. And I think he made a point saying like, because I know I think the whole lazy journalistic point of view was like, oh, why wasn't it made clear to Sterling that it wasn't part of the plans before preseason? But he said like, yeah, the first three preseason games, one player played, another player played, Sterling played. We were looking at everybody, seeing the level, assessing everyone's level. And even if you go to go by preseason, it's not like Sterling had a fantastic preseason that you can go say, okay, yeah, he had a fantastic preseason. He should or he deserves a chance to even be in the starting lineup or in the squad come match day one. But I think for him he has to make hard decisions. There are a lot of players at Chelsea that haven't necessarily performed or haven't met their levels, and with a lot of moving parts in terms of transfers and just balancing the whole squad with likes of Felix and Neto coming in. There's two coming, one has to go, or two has to go. We don't quite know yet. But I think he's made the decision. How much of it is being driven by the football business of it in terms of his Sterling's earnings and and the new transfers coming in and the need to balance the squad. I'm not quite sure, but I'll stick to what I've heard from the coach so far. I think I like how strong he's been on this matter. Where if a player doesn't fit into his plans or the club's plans, he's come out and been very open about it, honest about it. I think somebody say a bit too honest about the whole situation where he said Chilwell are telling basically Chilwell are telling they're not my plans. They can go they're free to sort their transfers out. The sporting directors can sort it, that's not my problem. I'm here to coach my team. And he made an effort of mentioning the amount of players he had in his squad available 21, 22, 23. He said. So that's on the coach's side. On Sterling's part, I think this is a situation where it's unfortunate, but I think ultimately it was just a matter of time with how Chelsea's career have gone so far. It was only a matter of time. Really and truly, I expected this whole situation to have happened last season, for Sterling to have been dropped from the squad or benched for long periods of time. I think ultimately he was benched toward the end of the season after their infamous Leicester game in the cup
Mhm.
where he had a tough time of it. But I think I expected this treatment or this whole situation to have happened last season because I don't think Sterling's found it. I think one of the transfers. I think it's one of Chelsea's toughest transfers in recent years, where you sign a player of his caliber for big money, a lot of Premier League experience. A lot of he's won in the Premier League. He's played at two big Premier League clubs, Liverpool and Man City. You bring him to Chelsea, you say, okay, now this is the guy. You move other attacking players on. You say, okay, no, this is the guy. You give him the keys to the attack. This is your team. Go out there and make it happen. But for whatever reason, it's not like he's had injuries here and there, but for whatever reason, it's just not worked. And with Chelsea in the past, they've been players, they've been like likes of Fernando Torres, Timo Werner, that they've come in for big money. They've not quite worked out, but there's still there's still a connection between them and the fan base, like Torres and Werner. But with Sterling, it's just there's there's never been any sort of connection with the fan base. So I actually don't know why.
But it's not his fault. It's not
No,
his
of,
fault.
no, of course I understand it's not his fault, but
I love his attitude. But it's not his
no,
fault.
no, 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 no.
It's difficult
I
to say
know,
what the problem is. You know,
yeah,
some
but
fans
it's
don't make effort. Some fans don't just make effort. Courtois wasn't loved by the fans. He didn't really care. But Sterling,
Yeah, that's you
contribution,
understand. No,
that I needed.
But like with Couture, you can trace it to like Couture was very not was very a bit. He was negotiating at Chelsea. There, like I'm alone at Atletico Madrid. I want to stay here. If I'm coming back, I have to come and start. I think that whole situation got messy, but that's to decide. But I think with Sterling, it's just not. I don't think ultimately the transfer has not worked out for either parties. There's only one party that's coming out laughing in this transfer, and that's Man City because they managed to get Sterling off their books, get a sizable amount of money back for him. I think they got close to what they bought, what they bought him for way back from Liverpool. But I
Of
think
like 60 million euros or
yeah,
something, or 55.
I think for Chelsea, it's the writing on the wall. The writing has been on the wall for a long time regarding Sterling and Chelsea. It's just not been, especially on the pitch. You expect a lot in terms of his performances. His experience, you expect his experience to show in a team where his other teammates in attack, the likes of Modric, Madueke, Palmer, are quite young. They're finding their way in the game. You expect Sterling to be the one who's a mainstay in the starting lineup, guiding certain players. I know. We spoke about likes of Palmer, making referencing him as one of their mentors in behind the scenes. But I think you expect more of him, and I think I think that's been the team throughout his whole career. He's ultimately he's delivered a lot, but I think he's always you find yourself expecting more from Sterling because I
Okay.
think he has all the tools, he has all the men, but I don't think it's worked out for him.
Okay. Okay. To me, this is how I go. This is how I go about it. I believe in this case, you can be in the middle. You don't need to be the extra, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I start with. I was watching a program where someone called. It was Jamie O'Hara, and then I
Yeah,
think
Talk Sports.
something,
Yeah,
and then
Yeah,
Topscores,
Talk
and
Sport
then they
Radio.
said Sterling is a Premier League legend, and the other guy said, "What do you?" I think O'Hara was. I'm like, "What are you talking about? How do
No,
you?" Sterling has over. He's a Premier League legend. He
he's
has
a
over
Premier League
100 goals.
legend. He is a
I
Premier League
had to
legend.
check
No
that to
doubt.
find
No,
out.
yeah, I know
Goal.
for a fact he does. He has. Yeah, easy.
So he's a
Yeah,
Premier League legend. He's won the Premier League several times. I think more
yeah.
than two times. I think maybe
Yeah,
three times. So he's a
I
Premier
think
League.
a lot.
He has won the FA Cup. So how do you defend a legend? So he's a legend first of all. That's one. Then two. Now I think one of the problems Sterling has. I don't really think his production has really dropped. Yes, a little bit, but I think he has been found out. He was in his Liverpool. He was in a Liverpool system that has Sturridge and the other guy and Suarez, especially Suarez, who was producing. He didn't contribute that much in terms of goals or assists, but he was part of them. Then he
Yeah,
moved to Manchester City, and the system Pep played, he was always getting the goals. He was getting the chances. He was in a very good system that benefited him, right? So I think leaving Manchester City was one of his worst mistakes to me footballing career because that system suited him. He
but
had
that's not.
1 year to
But that's not his choice.
no,
That's
no, he had
is.
1 year to run. He
I
had
know,
1 year
but
to run.
but
Let's
also,
face that.
I know, but I think it's a situation where it wasn't his choice to make. I think that's a situation where Man City, you have 1 year left on your contract. We extend it at this point,
Yeah, he
or
could
we
have
move.
extended. He could
No,
have
but
extended.
I know, but I don't think that extension was coming from Man City because
Okay,
I
then
think then they've seen what we are seeing now that this is a player that is a fantastic player.
no, he's a
He has
fantastic
everything,
player.
but the player when you
Yeah,
look at like
no, but
he's out.
it's not at that level.
I think the team has.
And the player is a player that he can't be your main guy. Kevin De Bruyne can shoulder the burden of creating. For, Sterling functions in a system that is already working. He can't be the chief guy that is making the
Yeah,
system work.
he can't. Yeah, he
That's
can't.
the
Yeah,
problem with Chelsea.
yeah,
Okay, but this will have a problem with people. Now, this is where I just stood here and criticized Barcelona for not being able to move their players. So I
yeah,
cannot sit down here and criticize Chelsea for moving on. No. Players sometimes want to control the narrative. You can't control the narrative. What do I mean?
yeah,
Your contract says you are going to be paid. You must be paid. Your contract
yeah,
doesn't say you'll be
yeah.
paid. Your
Yeah, you're
contract doesn't
obliged.
dictate how they are going to use you. They can decide to keep you on the bench. All you do is to get your money every week. So it depends on you. Now, back in the days, you had something Bogart, the Dutch guy that
Yeah, the
stayed on the
birds.
bench for Chelsea for years and got his money. And recently, he said he regretted it. I get
Yeah,
some player can decide to do that. But now the problem with that is that the players don't no longer do that these days because players play for longer time. You have players playing for 35, 36. Ronaldo is still playing. Messi is still playing. players. De Bruyne is almost 32. He's still
Yeah,
functioning in their top level. So now the problem I have with people is that these are the same people that criticize Chelsea for having 42 players, 37 players, 50 players. Then when Chelsea wants to cut those players, they try to dictate to Chelsea how to cut those players. No, you don't tend to do that. Pick a
yeah.
side and stick to that. Now I'll call some names. David Beckham kicked out of Manchester United. Roy
Mm.
Keane kicked out of Manchester United. Scott Parker was called Mr. West Ham, kicked out of West Ham United. Ika Gundogan kicked out of Barcelona. Stam was kicked out by Sir Alex Ferguson. He
Yeah.
said he begged
Mm.
for Alex Ferguson wanted to stay. Sir Alex Ferguson
Mm.
said no. He kicked him out. Where did he kick him out? He kicked him out to Lazio. What happened? Because Stam wrote a book, autobiography about something and say something about Sir Alex Ferguson. And he said he informed him. And Sir Alex said he should go ahead. But he still kicked him out. So now
Yeah.
heavens didn't fall. You have Messi who was kicked out of Barcelona. You can say Barcelona didn't have money to sign him, but he was deceived or whatever. He was kicked out. Robbie Fowler. I hear Jimmy Carragher saying all sorts of things. Oh, Chelsea, this he wakes up, he dreams, everything is Chelsea. Every day he's always talking about Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea. Robbie Fowler was kicked out of Liverpool. They had Mikey Owen. They have Emil Hitzke. What did they do? They kicked him out. He joined this United. So this is not the first time it's happening. This won't be the last. That is the business. There's no emotion about that. And
Cook,
that is
cook,
why I'm on
cook.
record
Yeah.
to support the players. I'm on record supporting the players to get more money. There's nothing like
Do
loyalty in this
you
game.
exactly?
I support
No,
the players.
exactly.
If
Hmm.
someone will give you more money, join the players, join the
No,
club. You
it's
don't stay and say, I don't care about. So Campbell moved from Tottenham to Arsenal. He saw more potential. He's a legend. So
no
I don't
first.
get it why fans will kick the fan for the kick the players for moving, then support the club when they're kicking out players. It doesn't go one way. It goes both ways. A
Yeah,
player should do the best thing for him. The club should do the best thing for them. So
yeah.
if the club says they don't want Sterling again to be in their book, then go Sterling get another club or sit on the bench. Well, yes, I get it. He's a legend. He's what hero. He left
Legend.
Raul. No, no. When I mean no captain, no, I'm not saying legend. I'm saying he's the oldest guy in the team. I think he's
Okay.
the that's what I'm saying. He won the league and all those things. The treatment, they could have treated him better. But the problem is that now I'm also attacking Manchester United for not doing enough to kick out players. Because the problem some of these clubs have is that the players are on big, very Sterling is on 350,000, I think 350 or $300,000 every week. Did Chelsea give him the contract? Yes. At the same time, if I give you something and I find out that I made a mistake, I could make it very difficult for you. That is business. So
No,
I
but
was thinking
no, but I know, but also I think this situation. I always try to keep it on like I always try to keep it as narrow as possible, and I always look at okay one thing, performance, and if you just go off performances alone, do you think Sterling, with his recent Chelsea performance,
no, no, no,
deserves?
no, 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 no. It's far
Yeah,
from it. That's not even
so
argument. That's
it's
not. Hold on.
so you have your
It's
answer
not
there.
even
So
argument.
you have to ask yourself, has it been performing? No,
Uh,
like
One of
because yeah.
one of my favorite Premier League players. People will be shocked. Is Steven Ireland. Steven Ireland. He played for Manchester City under Mark Hughes. That season, the last season of Mark Hughes' season, where they had Roberto Mancini, a season before Roberto Mancini came in. He was the star player for Manchester City. He was kicked out. He had Richard Dunn, who was the
Yeah,
captain of
the
Manchester.
aspirations,
I don't
aspirations
get
got
it
big,
why.
and the move.
Come on,
No, it's
no.
no, it's no,
I know why people are making,
it's.
but where I don't like is giving his shirt number or his jersey number out to
I see.
another player while he's at the club. That's disrespectful. You could
I
have
don't
waited
mind.
for him. To me, that's a million. No, I won't do that.
No,
I won't do
it's
that.
sending the message.
I, I,
I'm.
I won't do that. It's like
It's
sacking my staff and then telling them, taking their stuffs out to them on the road. I'll let them come in and pack their stuffs and
no,
say
but
goodbye.
no, but you
I
know,
won't do that.
no,
I won't.
no,
I
no,
won't stand them and take their bag from the locker and then give them in the middle of the road. I'll let them come in, say goodbye, and leave. No,
no. See, I
I won't
think
do that.
no,
They deserve better. That's why Chelsea are just being mean. And I think the press conference is the thing that brought Chelsea on and say, "Come on, we can play this game. Let's all get dirty." I don't know. I hope they resolve it. I hope he leaves. I don't know if he plays, but now Chelsea have to play a large chunk of the salary for some years.
no,
I don't
yeah,
know,
I
but
know, but
because
that's the consequence.
Sterling not the sort of player that will sit on the bench. He's
Yeah,
not.
no, it's not.
He's not.
I think it's a very
He's not.
I think to Sterling's credit, he's a very fair player. He doesn't try to cheat his way through any sort of deal or cheat his way through any sort of situation. But I think I think ultimately Sterling moved on. I don't know where to where. I don't know the financial package.
Ruud Garnis cannot had issues with Ronaldo. I don't know what happened. Carlos Queiroz got involved, who was the assistant coach of Real Madrid. He got involved. Sir Alex Ferguson got involved. They had Luis Saha. They had Luis Saha. What did they do? They kicked him out to Real Madrid. He left for Real Madrid.
Hmm?
Even Manchester United did not allow him to attend. I think it was Roy Keane's testimonial game in Old Trafford. They didn't let
No,
him go.
there
So
was
it's not the first.
there was I think that there was they had a cup final back then, and he wasn't in the squad that day.
Yeah, he
I think
wasn't in
that's
the
when
squad.
I think it wasn't that. But also I think especially from players like or ex players like Sky Sports,
Well,
very
Carragher just says that he keeps
Carragher.
on criticizing Chelsea player. I'm on record to be against Chelsea owner spending. I will never knock
No no no
Maresca.
no see, no 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 no
No,
see, see, see.
I knock the owners. But Carragher, your club isn't even signing any player. He's the most. I don't get it. Like
No,
he
but
is not fair. He all he does is Chelsea. Maybe it's because it's what brings clicks. I don't know. He's not talking about. Look, Salah. There's a news today that says Salah. This might be Salah's last season. What are you
yeah.
doing? Why are you letting Salah go? Like
He hasn't.
so he's
He hasn't. He hasn't. No, something like Salah Trent. He hasn't discussed it. He hasn't said anything about it. It's just Chelsea.
he will
Because
never do that.
I think I think right now Chelsea are sort of and I think this is a situation where they have made this mess for themselves where your business is out there. Everybody knows your business. Sterling was dropped. Had it been match day one, Sterling was not in the squad. You say sorry, he's not available. That's no story. You move on.
But these are the same people that criticize Chelsea for having 40 players. So where are you? You
No,
criticize this
it's
club. They want to take a
no,
player out.
it's
You're criticizing. I don't get it. Let's go to the next one. We'll still come back to this topic. So there's going to be another news later on.
yeah.
So now, uh, let's go to Crystal Palace or Fulham, depending on how you see it. Joachim Anderson, he's Danish, right? The
Yeah, it's
Danish
Danish.
is
Yeah, Danish international. Yeah,
yeah, Joachim Andersen, the Danish international, has been linked with Fulham. I think Fulham is on the verge of signing him for
yeah.
30 million pounds.
I think a deal is close to being agreed.
Okay, now from Crystal Palace. So how do how do you see the deal for Joachim, for Fulham, and for Crystal Palace?
So I think it's important to also note we can't necessarily talk about Joachim Andersen without bringing in his defensive partner
Wait,
Mark Guehi.
yeah, I
I
don't know
think
if he's leaving
and
70
no,
million.
I think Newcastle are pushing hard. But according to reports before we started recording, I saw like the links are hitting up that it could actually happen. Well, from the outside looking in, I thought it was a situation where I think Newcastle play hardball on Marguerite's side and get as much
Yeah.
money as they can for him and ultimately move him on. But you find yourself in a situation where you have bids coming in for your two-star centre backs. So I felt they would have let go of Mark and
Yeah, and kept yeah, yeah,
I kept
Anderson.
Jorgen Anderson, probably giving him a new contract as well. And I also think it's important to note that towards full last season, towards the end of last season, under the new coach Oliver Glasner, when they had this upsurge in form when they beat Liverpool, they trashed Manchester United 4-0. Mark Guehi wasn't present for most of these games.
Yeah, but he was their
So
captain on. He
yeah,
was the
yeah,
captain
he
on
was
Sunday.
captain, but I think he was injured for major. He missed. He was in. I think he was injured from match day 23 to match day 36. So he missed a sizable chunk of games during that period. I think the whole Oliver Glasner era, or the whole peak, or the whole momentum of good football they played and good results they got. Yeah, he wasn't really at the heart of it. It was Anderson.
Yeah.
So in my head, I was thinking, okay, you know what? You get as much as you can get from Mark. Keep Anderson. You buy another one or two centre backs. Probably Chelsea's own Chaluba. They've got a centre back already from Barcelona. They are reportedly linked with another one from Benfica. So you keep Anderson. You build your team because I felt like because even for the way they play, I think Anderson in the middle of those three centre backs is more the quarterback is more. I think he's more suited to that role, or he fits. I think the shape fits him more than it does McGahey. And
Yeah,
I'm quite surprised that I'm willing to let both of them go. I think
yeah.
we're not quite sure what's what yet because I think it is still events are still unfolding. But I think I'm very surprised at letting both of them go, especially with the season already started already. And I think it's just, I don't know because I find Crystal Palace one of the clubs that are very well balanced. There's not.
But do you remember? Do you remember the day we did it? I told you. I told you. I think Chris, if you remember very
I
well.
remember. I remember.
And this is the reason why I think them to go down. I'm not saying I'm right, but
Go
that day
down.
was no, no. Hold on. Let me finish. I'm not saying that I don't think I was right, but that was based on emotion on that day.
Yeah,
And
I
why was I
understand. Yeah, I
so
understand.
emotional? They lack ambition. The,
No, but I
Palace,
know.
they have one of the best scouting networks in. They got to say they have Wharton. They know how to go to the championship and get players. They have the very good scout. But the problem I always have with them is when they get these players, they don't build on. They
They don't
relax
push.
you. They
They
play
don't push.
football. Then they
They
come
don't
down and
push.
get they start
They don't push
they
enough.
never.
I
That's
know. I
that's the
know.
problem I have with Ballard. You
I
get these
know.
players, you don't. It took so many years before he became what he is. He didn't just start. There was some stumble and all those. It took so now you want to take Anderson and to replace Anderson. Whoever is replacing him has to play like 3 years or 2 years at 100%. 2 years before he can get. Anderson is in decline. Don't get me wrong. He's going to be
No,
28
no,
and
but I think,
he's in his
but I think
prime. He's in his prime
it's
now.
inspired. But I
30
think it's an
million.
excellent. I think it's
Yeah,
an.
30
I
million.
think it's an. Yeah.
30 million for a 28-year-old is very good business because the contract you're giving him is the last business.
Yeah.
All I'm
No.
trying to say is that if you have
Yeah.
ambition, why are you selling him now?
Yeah. I'm so.
If Fulham, look, I just looked at Fulham today. They want Ryan Sheki.
Yeah, Sheikh, you said they're making moves, but also think it's.
They
I
want
also think it.
Sturridge. They want Anderson. That's three very good moves for Fulham. This imagine Tete on the right and Castinia, the Belgian guy, as the reserve. Then you have Anderson in the center, replacing Tim Ryan and the other guy and Tosin guy. You have
Tosin.
Calvin Bassey on the
Yeah.
in the center.
There's
So
a
on
lot.
the
There's a
left
lot of
side,
options.
you have Robinson. That defense is very good. It's extremely very good.
But
So
we also feel, especially
Palace,
like with like Crystal Palace, or the frustration I feel most Crystal Palace fans will have at this point in time. It's you've seen the club lose Olise. That's I think you sort of
where
understand
did the
it.
money go to? Where did
I
the
know
money go
exactly.
to?
So I think so. You kind of understand. Okay, at some point, players like Olise, Eze, they'll find themselves going towards bigger teams and bigger clubs. But the situation where you have Joachim Anderson is leaving to Fulham, where
Yeah,
I
that's
think a lot of fans I think they'll find it hard to find that to reconcile that difference where it's not if it was say if it
and
was going to say
Fulham is in West London, right?
yeah exactly it's West London so it's
But
something
the
where
other
like
guys are in South London, and their only club in South London in the Premier League.
yeah
Who
exactly
else is in
so
South? And it's way bigger. Like it's way bigger
so
because they have
I find it I find it very odd from the Crystal Palace perspective but probably they've looked at say okay you know what we can't
no. They know how to scout.
yeah no but what no
Even, no matter how good you are in scouting, it takes time. Chris Richards, this is like his third season or something like that, or second season.
but and
So
but also feel
sometimes, oh yeah,
I also feel they have I think they have two things going right for them. They have obviously if they make these two transfers or one of them they will have a lot they will have some money to spend or some money to burn. But the problem that brings is like everyone knows you have money. So there's an
yeah.
added tax. There's an added tax
I'm
for any of your
suspecting. I don't know why you said it in the group chat. I'm suspecting they'll come for Chaluba. I don't know why.
yeah, I
I
think
feel so.
it seems it
The
seems
closest.
obvious. It seems obvious, but I also feel like they have a good recruitment policy with Dougie Freeman as the head of recruitment or sporting director there. Steve Parish, the owner, is very outgoing in his opinions about how he sees the club and the financials. But I think probably they already have there's this link to French centre back from Wolfsburg, Lacroix, who's one of players that Oliver Glasner has worked with in the past. So I think, and
They could
I think,
come for the taxi also.
Hopefully they do. Hopefully they do. But as I'll say, I think they have a good structure there, and ultimately, I think they have a very good coach. That if they get the right pieces, they can just they might find a bit of they might run through a bit of sticky times, but I think they have enough to be okay. I take them to finish in the top 10 this season, easy,
Okay,
because
yeah.
they have they still have they still have they have an informed goal scorer, Jean-Philippe Mateta. They have
No,
one
no,
of the best.
I feel Mateta is overperforming this XG.
I know, but it's he's
The
I know
amount
he's
of
not that,
goals he scored, I think is over. This he is good,
but
right?
he also scored a lot of goals at the Olympics as well. I know it's the Olympics as well, but I think it,
No, it's still a competition.
I know,
Yeah.
yes. I also think it's that's purple patch, as you said, is probably down to the system, the confidence that especially with strikers, the confidence that scoring goals brings. But I think with Crystal Palace, I think if I'm a Crystal Palace fan, there'll be a bit of there'll be a bit of grumbling over there. But I think I'll trust the club, trust the owner, trust the directors, trust the coaching, because I think they're in those two departments. I think they are solid there. So I think it's just
Okay.
it 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 will be painful, but I think they just have to trust it and see.
For 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 our audience, Anderson played 38 league games last season. That was all the games. Last
Yeah,
two
he started every
seasons,
game.
he played 31 games. He has played 31 games and more since 2020. That's 4 years in a row. He's the leader, he's the mentor, he's in his prime right now, and he can play at the top level for maybe the next 2 3 years. Now, now for Fulham, he's an upgrade on Tosin. To me, I'll pick him over Tosin on present form. It
But it's
depends on
not.
how you see.
I don't think. But he's not as. I think the problem Anderson has always had is. I think he's a fantastic on the ball. He's one
He
of the
makes
best.
some mistakes.
No,
No, he, on the
I
ball,
think.
he's way better.
I th- no, I know. No, I think Anderson is one of the best ball play centre backs in the league. He's in my opinion, in the top 10. But I
Uh,
think in terms of mobility, that's where and that's why I felt the system at Crystal Palace where he plays in the middle of he plays in the middle of two other centre backs where he has his passing range. Um, he
he has
can
had
he
he
can
has
show his passing range, but I think it's we'll see.
he has had 5.40 clearance per game last season, 94 percentile. He had 2.29 area goals per game, 65 percentile, and then 1.08 tackles. But that means in terms of clearances, that is his greatest asset. Okay, let's see how the season goes. That should be all for today. Frank, do you have anything for our audience?
Um, no, I don't have. I just again another thank you and that to our listeners and our followers. Keep keep showing your support, liking the page, sharing the page, leaving comments on our post and whatnot, and just helping us grow our community so far.
Okay, thank you. Be safe.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.